Today in episode 43 of Audacity to Lead, I answer a listener's question about how you can make money online when you are broke and you don't even know where to begin. I go on and share 3 ideas or 3 systems that work that you can jump in, and I take time to explain the skill and the mindset you need to actually get started.
Inspiring, actionable content that helps you get focused, get started, and be impactful. This is Audacity to Lead.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Audacity to Lead. My name is Darius Samuel, and this is the podcast where I give you the courage and necessary insight to step out and lead with more influence. Today I'm doing something quite different. I'm not going to be talking about what you are used to. I'm actually going to be talking about something quite different. And the reason why I'm doing that is because someone sent me a question on Sunday and asked me, was it Sunday? I think that should be Saturday, or maybe I think that should be Saturday. And asked me a question, and I said, okay, so let me just do an episode to answer that question. And we agreed. Well, I would like to share with you 3 basic things today about the idea of making money online, especially, and you, of course, you know that I've never been this direct on this show talking about how to make money online, because me and my friend Maya Wajishafe, we've been working on a show like this, a podcast show like this, to help you guys out with. But pending when we actually launch that show, I just felt today let me just do a little of this teaching. And actually the question actually came in from somebody, which I'm going to be reading very, very soon. But just before I get into that, I want to say thank you for joining me again on this episode of Audacity to Lead. I really want to say thank you so much. It's been fantastic listening to your comments, getting feedbacks from you guys, and I really want to say thank you so much. So today, if you're listening for the first time, I want to say thank you for being here today. And if you've been an all-time listener, like I always say, you're welcome back. And so today, this question came in from a guy called Ray. That's what I can see as his name right now. Okay, so the question is this. It says, "Good day, sir. I'm an undergraduate, and in terms of cash, I'm short of it. I can't pay bills where I live as I am in debt at the moment. I need your support. I know this might cost me a little amount, but a serious-minded person would do this. Straight to the point. Please, I want to make money online. I need you to teach me this." So, this is the question I want to answer on this particular episode. It may be long, it may be short. I actually don't intend it to be long. I want it to be as short as possible. And so I'm just going to go ahead and answer his questions straight away. But then, so as not just to give a generic answer, I asked him a couple of questions. And from what he said, I just felt it would be good to just do this podcast episode to actually answer his question. But beyond answering his question, I trust that some other guys like yourself will also need to hear my view, my perspective on the idea of making money online. And that's why I'm doing this right now. So first, let me sincerely thank this guy for his question, because it made me to think, okay, if someone like this could be following me for as long or as short time as possible, and he's still not clear about what to do to actually get online and generate some income for himself, then I have not done well enough. So that's the reason why I'm actually doing this. And I hope this episode actually solves some of the questions you personally have, and it kind of gives you a roadmap, something that you can follow. Of course, you might have to listen to this all over again, but I trust that this episode is actually going to deliver some kind of solutions to you. So as I go on, there are basically 3 things I would like to address, which are the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set you need to make any income at all online. Now, when I talk about mindset, whatever it is I share on this particular show today, whatever it is I discuss with you today won't work if you don't take care of the mind game. For example, the moment you decide to get online, you come across a lot of ideas, methods, systems, advice, many of which may not be applicable to your situation. In fact, I can resonate with that. You will come across, for example, if you live in my country, there's some materials you will get and you will be wondering, okay, so how do I go about this software? How do I go about this plugin? How do I go about this particular system? How can it work here? For example, I remember buying a course one time like that, and the model was centered around ClickBank, and ClickBank doesn't allow us as Nigerians to register on the site. That automatically hampered what I wanted to do. So you will eventually find what will work for you, but at that point something would have happened, or you would have learned a couple of things. I remember in my own case in 2006, when I started my first Make Money Online adventure, 6 months or so down the line, I didn't make a single dime. And when I say I didn't make a single dime, I mean I was burning money and going to the cafe. Of course, 2006, most of us don't have personal computers. Most of us don't even have smartphones. And so I go to cafe, burn a lot of money trying to buy access to the internet. I read a lot of Success Digest Extra magazine. Almost every Make Money Online article, blog post, video, YouTube videos and all that. I watched everything, but the thing is my focus was completely wrong because I wasn't even committed to making things work. I didn't stay long enough with any idea before I jumped to the next one. And the thing is, once that idea doesn't bring me the income I was expecting, I ditched it and moved on to the next idea. So the thing is, one day I sat down and asked myself that if I'm doing this with this particular approach, if I'm approaching my business like this, or if I'm approaching the idea of making money online like this, what other areas of my life am I not following through on a plan or strategy? So let me ask you that question again. Let's say you've been trying a lot of things, and once it doesn't work, you quickly give up on it and move on to the next idea or to the next thing. What areas of your life have you been repeating that pattern? What areas of your life are you not following through on a strategy or a plan that's properly laid out for you? So I think you should think of that, because really when it comes to making money online, your mindset can be your biggest obstacle. There's no quick cash anywhere, but of course you can always generate some income for yourself. So in order to put this in context, I will say that once you are coming, that you say you want to make money online, I recommend you actually give yourself like 90 days, which is about 3 months, to actually follow through on that idea, stick to it, make it work, and see the kind of results you will get. I remember a guy recently asked me a question. He said, okay, I have passion for this, I have idea for this, I can do this, I can do that. How can I bring all of them together? Well, the thing is, I'm going to answer that in the next episode of this podcast, because for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be answering listener Q&A. It's going to be focused on the questions you've been asking me. So I told him, I said, the thing is not about having plenty of ideas. It's about the ones you can take out to the marketplace first and see how it works out over 90 days time or over a 3 months period. And then, depending on how it works, you can then launch the next one or build on that. Well, just to bring to your information, in case you have not listened to episode 29 before, I recommend you go ahead and listen to episode 29, which you can find at audacitytolead.com/29. And that is for mindset. You actually really need to take care of mindset, of the kind of things you believe in, the kind of ideas you already have. Because like I said, your mindset will be your biggest obstacle when it comes to making money online. That said, let me move on to skill sets. Now, for skill set, here is what I want to share with you. It doesn't matter whatever it is you have, you know to do, you are an expert in. someone somewhere has need of whatever it is you already have. And the thing is, promotion or marketing is how you get it across to that person. Because the thing is, like I shared on a teleseminar recently, there are 4 kinds of audiences that buy into anything. In fact, there are 4 kinds of people that we always speak to per time. There's the audience that is completely oblivious of what we have. There's the audience that knows that there's a pain they have. There's an audience that is actually engaged with the pain. They know that they have this pain and they are looking for a solution. And there are those who are actually looking for a solution faster. That is, they are really, really keen to having that problem solved. So depending on which of them you want to talk to, I want you to understand that you have something someone has need of. Getting it out to them is the most important part of whatever it is you can do. So let me ask you at this point, what can you do? What skills or expertise do you already have? What do you already know that can be transacted, that can be exchanged for, of course, income? Anyway, so as I was saying, I got to ask this particular guy, Ray. I said, do you mind if I ask what skills or talents do you already have? And here's his answer. He said, yes, I can operate a factory pet/can blowing machine which could be used in Coca-Cola and other breweries, including that being used in table water factory. Now, that tells me that this guy has some expertise with handling a physical machine. And then he went on to say, I can produce music using certain softwares on a PC. I'm a poet and a dancer. Now, this makes it even very, very easy to actually answer. Now, for his skill set is good at operating factory machines, which could be used for water factories, in Coca-Cola brewing machines. And the other part which can actually be taken online is the fact that you can produce music using certain softwares on the PC. You are a poet and a dancer. Now, I want you to hold that in your mind right now. Notice Ray said he can produce music using certain softwares. Let's say Fruity Loops, Cubase. Let's say we say Adobe Audition, Audacity. And then you are a poet. And then you're a dancer. Those are actually 3 very powerful things. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to come back to this eventually. Now, the third thing I said I was going to talk about is the tool set. Now, what I don't often recommend to people is when they said they want to make money online and then they go and start something completely new. Now, the thing is, in fact, in one of the articles I wrote on my blog on audacitytolead.com, which I'll link to in the show notes, I actually said something like this, that you don't really need to go start something completely new that doesn't exist or something completely different from what already exists. I always recommend that you find an existing system or model that's working and then you jump in. Now, let me bring it to this guy's question, this guy's situation particularly. Is this: I can produce music using certain softwares. I'm a poet and a dancer. Now, this tells me that you can actually work with already existing systems. First of all, let me share 3 particular systems that I know can work for you, that you can actually start very, very fast right now. First system is that of freelancing. Now, what does freelancing mean? It means you producing items, works, jobs, doing it for people and then helping them get it. Helping them do things that they don't have the time or the skills to do. So let me give you examples of freelancing systems that already work. Fiverr is one, which you can get at fiverr.com. Elance is another one, elance.com. Odesk.com. guru.com, tutor.com. Now, all of these sites actually allow you to open an account. When you open an account, you get, the accounts are most times free, and then you can start applying for jobs almost instantly, almost immediately. Now for Fiverr, let me even chip this in for Fiverr. In the last 30 days or more, I think in the last 30 days actually, when I checked the kind of income I've generated from there, I think that's about $120. Now that tells you that if I could have generated $120 offering a particular service on Fiverr, it tells you that in this case you produce music you can produce music using particular software. You can actually offer soundtracks on Fiverr. You can offer to edit songs for people on Fiverr. You can even go ahead and do something related to what I'm doing right now. Maybe producing, editing podcast audio for people. Now that is one, and you can actually do that on Fiverr, Elance, Odesk, Guru.com, any of that. And if you can actually teach that, you can take it to maybe tutor.com and open an account and do that. So that's system 1, freelancing. Now let's go to system 2, which has to do with monetizing your content. Now, monetizing your content works with somebody who knows how to teach and do, somebody who can teach what he does. For example, I am a podcaster. I podcast and I teach people and train people and coach people through starting, growing, launching, monetizing, promoting, positioning their podcasts and all that. So that is, I can monetize a content, right? Now, for monetizing content, here's how it works. You actually create content for people, and now such content could be maybe through a blog, through a podcast, through YouTube videos. It could even be Shutterstock, like you are selling photos. Or it could even be that you are selling digital content through iTunes. Now, let me give you a little breakdown of that. For example, Ray here says that you are a poet and a dancer. As a dancer, if you know how to teach dance, you can start a YouTube video channel and start teaching people how to dance. And then you can get people to sponsor you. That way you are making money from your talent, what you already know how to do. So let's say it's a blog. You can actually create a blog where you are sharing your poetic, lyrical inclinations, all those lyrics that you're writing through poems. You can start sharing that. In fact, the other way is that you can actually create a video where you are doing your dancing and you're also reciting your poems. In fact, you could combine it in such a way that you have a voiceover that is your poems along with a soundtrack that you create. Then you are dancing to your poem. You actually, is it mime or how do they say? You are choreographing your poem. And then you get YouTube to monetize the video for you. Or you could get people to sponsor you to do that video. Now, for Shutterstock, like I mentioned, you can actually sell your photos if you know how to snap yourself in the process of dancing, or so you can actually sell some of those pictures. Now, when I said selling digital content through iTunes, now iTunes actually provide an option to people to sell audio content on iTunes, even video content. So if you are creating soundtrack, you can actually create an iTunes account, which could be maybe just $2 or so. $2 should be about 400 or 500 naira in our local currency or in an international currency. Now, you create your soundtrack, then you hand it over to iTunes to sell, and then you create a channel or maybe a store on iTunes, and then you are selling your audio content through iTunes. That way, it actually goes to the whole world. In fact, a particular site that I've used over time that sells audio content, that sells content audio content actually, even soundtrack. One of them is shadowville.com, SHADDOWVILLE, shadowville.com. I think you should Google that to find the correct link, or better off, check the show notes of this episode, audacitytolead.com/43, and you'll pick the show notes for that. Audio Jungle is another one. A couple of sites actually allow you to create audio soundtracks and you can sell them online. So that is another system that already works, monetizing your content. The content that you create, you monetize them. Now, going to the third system. Now, I don't know how this may work particularly for you, right? But then here is what has worked for some of us. You can create an online shop or an online store. And this has to do with maybe importation business, which is the same system you find with Konga, Jumia, DealDay, Shopify. Now, all those are online shops or stores owned by individuals. For example, I run a podcast store on Konga, which actually sells podcast mic, and you can always go there and buy a mic without my direct involvement. The only thing I need to do is just hand over the mic and your detail over to Konga. Konga does all the delivery for me. So that's another thing you can do. So in this case, you know how to produce soundtracks. You can be selling that soundtrack, or you can look for something related to what you already do and then find a business that you can attach to it that can be created as an online store or as an online shop. Now, when I said finding an existing system or model that is working and jumping in, I could have gone ahead and created an independent store for podcasts where I will be selling podcast items, podcast accessories. But here's what I thought when I sat down. I said, now, if I create a store, I have to drive traffic to it. I'll have to do website customer audience so that I can retarget people that land on the store and all that. So I said, okay, let me go find out other sites that can actually do that without me needing to pay for any of those things. Do you know what? I was able to join Konga for free without any payment. In fact, Konga actually pays me to have items on their own site. So it's like, if somebody goes to my podcast store, for example, for the next 3, 4, 5 days, Konga still retargets you to come back and buy the mic. Now, I could have been paying for that, but I discovered that that's a system, that's a model that's already working, and I simply leveraged that to do my own business. So the idea is this: you don't have to create everything completely from scratch. And I trust that what I have shared with you on this particular episode is enough to actually help you get started. And the most important thing is that I will recommend that, first of all, take action, and next is stop consuming too much information product. Because like a student of mine once told me that she has become a professional student. Every single thing every single class has been at, every single course, she buys them, whether she reads or she doesn't read them. I don't want you to be like that. I don't want to become a professional student. I want you to get focused, get started, and do what matters right now. This is your life, don't forget, and you are the only one that can make it count. I hope this episode was helpful to you particularly, and I hope I was able to ignite some ideas in your head. In case you want to reach me, you can send me an email, dayo@audacitytolead.com. But just in case you want to check out some of the things I've mentioned on this episode, you can check them out at audacitytolead.com/43. And so, I want to say thank you for joining me on this episode this week. Till next time, I am Dayo Samuel, and I encourage you to get focused, get started, and be impactful.